Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our Twitch recap from last week's live stream, last Sunday, where we are continuing work on our Mars drop base, and basically management has decided that flying this thing out to Mars with a crew on board is probably not the best idea, seeing as how there's extraordinarily limited abort modes or really any recourse for the crew whatsoever should anything fail en route to Mars. That being the new mission plan, it's also a lot more feasible to fly it up mostly empty, which does free us up a lot of tonnage, and even though we don't have the RD-172s unlocked, we should be able to use human person's launch vehicle. As you can see, the earlier prototype of it there right down below us. So currently we are just stripping off fuel and life support. The general plan being is that this will lift off from Earth, transfer to Mars under its upper stage, and then propulsively capture at Mars, where it will await automated refueling and life support top-off before the crew that comes in on a Perseus vehicle will rendezvous with it. The 4 crew that are going to descend to the surface will take their ride down, and then proceed on mission from there, where the other 2 crew will travel on to Harmonia Station and await for the surface crew to finish its mission there, while they proceed with an on-orbit mission in Mars orbit. No real good way of saying that. Basically, we need to redo some of the adjustments that we made to the last lander, including landing legs and fuel placement and such. What I neglected to notice last time we did this testing is that the pillars with the solar panels on them were attached to a node that had an engine on it. So when the engines got deleted, it took the solar panels trusses with them, which were pretty essential for the balance of the spacecraft, which is going to be super important when we go to land this silly thing. I had planned on doing a drop test of it after launch vehicle testing, which is why I'm putting that canister on there with a, it's basically a life support slug that we will be randomly dropping as necessary. Although the base itself will carry something like 2 years of life support, which is hopefully enough for the ground crew to complete its mission in one go. However, we will be launching a resupply pod just in case we need to expand their time on the surface, or if we ever make a viable way to bring a second crew down to the surface installation to continue research from there on out. Now we are just refitting the upper stage with some of the amenities that it will need to become a long-duration upper stage. This includes solar panels and radiators to keep the liquid hydrogen in a liquid state. And we're basically getting about 8,600 meters per second out of this upper stage. We're not even pushing a solid runtime. So we will reattach the launch stage and spend about 25 minutes adjusting our staging before running this simulation and taking it for a test run. So for that, I will turn you over to old me. I'll say a test flight recently bit me, so I think we're good on our HG3s for a while. We could have failures on the experimental engine, and that would kill 4 people. I know you're waiting so eagerly for that. Alright, and let's, ooh, that's loud, okay. Spooling. Lamps off. We're moving. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, human person. I loaded up the one from the last time we were doing this because it was just saved as its own craft file. I completely forgot about the new textures. We'll have to go back in and change that. Absolutely. Similar when you watch War Games. This is the 80s, yes. Oh man, War Games is so tacky good. Good tacky. Yeah, human person, we have decided that we're going to launch the base without a crew. and thus empty to make it lighter so that we can take this thing as it sits with the 171Ms. Range safety quick, we forgot to paint the logo. I promise you, human person, the mission will not fly without its appropriate paint job. You have my word. Return to launch site. Really, these engines throttle, we could probably land it if we felt like being ridiculous. Alright, time to lean into this gravity turn. Something Star Wars 4 to 6 did well. I'm not feeling like they were for any particular time, unlike Star Trek. TMP? Freaking Starfleet, you shoot bell bottoms. I will say that's something really good sci-fi does well. Oh, the motion picture. Gotcha. I was like, does he mean TNG? But yeah, no. Yes. I know what you're talking about now. I think that's something good sci-fi and good fantasy will do well, is not look like they come from a particular time period. Although, I think Luke's haircut in particular is a dead giveaway of its time. Oh, I remember that movie. I've seen it maybe twice, and because I grew up in a house with a serious Trekkie who had all of them on VHS. Well, I mean, all of them that were released before 1998, anyway. Oh, I should be gravity turning a bit more aggressively. I agree, Wookie, and here comes the people are going to hate me, but Wrath of Khan was entirely overrated. It was certainly better than the motion picture, but... Alright, I'm just going to shut up now before I get flamed into oblivion. I assume you mean like by the character, because he was just so incredibly awesome. And to an extent I agree. Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't get that kind of, I don't know, fury, that believability, that, I don't know. He did a really good job, it just didn't, it was held back by other things. Still fantastic, but, you know. We're all forgetting the true pinnacle of all sci-fi ever. Zardoz. Give that a minute or two to settle in. The BOP explosion in Generations is a direct cut and splice from Undiscovered Country? Really? I did not know that. That is awesome. I can also understand it, however. Payload itself seems to wiggle a bit. Is that so? Is it the payload or is it the upper stage? Yeah, it's the payload. Okay, well, we'll see if we can fix it with struts, but I think it's the fact that we use that scaled up structural part to avoid the weird distancy thing that is more than likely absolutely the culprit of that. It was the only reason why I wanted to use 3 engines on the lander, and maybe we still might, because that way we can put a little fuel in the lander itself and we'll just use just the center engine to assist with capture and circularization, and then we just ditch the 3rd engine by having a crew member remove it. That was your only gripe with Undiscovered Country? And I don't know, I agree a lot that over-reliance on CG is weird. It does make things, I don't know, especially like modern CG compared to the old stuff. They're like, oh, we can do it with computers, it looks great, and for the time it really did, but now it's just like, this is terrible. You should have used a model. Did Almighty Kubrick teach you nothing? Should back that off a bit. So the wiggle isn't that bad, and considering the rocket, I think we can manage. I guess we'll have to see how things go when our TWR gets a little higher. The engine, the lander engines have a very limited runtime. Well, very limited, 8 minutes. And I'd really like to not have an overburn failure in a critical phase of descent. So I'd like to have fresh engines going into that phase of the mission, which is my only reluctance to use or to reuse one, especially if we can have one engine do its full runtime getting circularization, so we don't have to do with, 30 passes through the upper atmosphere. I'd be real happy. So yeah, 3 engines would be better for less runtime, but we're already, I think they're, with 2 engines and a full fuel load, there's only 6 minutes of run. Oh, yeah, well, the timing's not too far off. I really should have checked that sooner. Alright then. We're still in an appropriate place. Yeah, we're still going to need about 1 kilometer per second from the transfer stage. We'll see what we're looking at then. One of the nice things with new space race rockets is they're building long runtime into the engines from the start. I agree. I do enjoy my long run times. Raptors were always meant to have many minutes, if not hours, of runtime per engine. Hours of runtime. My goodness. We have... Okay, good. I just want to make sure those didn't get fueled on the pad on accident. Enable crossfeed. Are we not doing things today? Still no response from RCS up top, so let's just do this manually, shall we? Boom, boom. Fantastic. There we go. Thrusters are up. Disgruntled Panda, how's it going? Thanks for coming by. Would have been amazing if you misclicked the discouple. Amazing for simulation gaming. Range safety. Then we'd have to restart the test. Hold on. There's supposed to be 2 towers here and here with like solar panels and stuff. Where are they? Okay, nothing got broke. Well, that's interesting. Were they there in the VAB and I just missed it? You can't quick load on a simulation though, Wookie. We'd have to start the test over. The base looks nice. Oh, thank you. This is way too much hard work. All from the pre-baby crash days. I'll say they should have already been there. Like, they were there in the last phase of testing, I think. Non-simulation stuff. I'm really hoping I don't accidentally click range safety during anything that matters. Came real close once. It really bothers me how they put the range safety button right next to the analyze telemetry button. The analyze telemetry and range safety, these two should be nowhere near each other. And really, range safety should have like a "are you sure you want to blow everything up?" double check. I'm really mad. My towers are not there. And I'm gonna have to go back and probably load up a previous version. I guess whatever tonnage we have to orbit, we can just, I don't know, we'll come close. We'll speculate. Those towers were very specifically placed for balance on descent, and now I don't remember if they were there last time. Yes, and also insert 2 keys or something. Well, you have to first get the 5.5-inch floppy that has your targeting data. Insert that, and turn 2 keys, and click yes a few times. And that'll send out the text message alert that we're about to range safety. So it looks like we'll be right under 7 kilometers per second. When we hit orbit, maybe? We took this thing from 200 tons to 75 tons. We did add some junk, though. Oh, that's really interesting. Range safety officer, best job in the rocket industry. Just sit there in front of a button and wait for everything to go wrong. Set up an abort mode action group to decouple the capsule and trigger range safety on the lower core simultaneously. The capsule will detach and everything else blows up. Very clean. And you don't get all the flying debris though, but I really do kind of want to try it. I wonder if astronauts are a bit nervous about the fact that there's a guy in mission control who can blow up the rocket with a click of a button. I mean, I hope it's just one of those things you just try not to think about. Alright, coming up on stage SEP in 10 real-time seconds. Probably 20 seconds for us in our yellow clock. I wonder if the Capcom's heart skipped a beat on every post-Challenger SDS flight when it came time to say go at throttle up. Ooh. Too soon. Staging. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, I wonder if this is the wrong version, because we did add 4 retro thrusters in there. 1 second, let's just have a look. Oh, yep, there they are. Okay, then. Huh. Where'd the radiators go? No, they're not here. I know I put the radiators there, didn't? Like, right here. Right? So, I wonder... Everything got crackened into the middle, like it did on the, the resupply, or the fuel tank that went to Tremonia. Anti-cheat mod enabled. Do the core's engines have residual thrust or something at Miko? I don't know why that happened. I can only think that maybe something got stuck. Like, I think the way the fairing tapers is probably hitting the edge of these solar panels. And at least they didn't break, but they also didn't want to let go. I probably should have taken a better look at that before integrating the vehicle, but we're likely going to have to move these panels. Simply add radiators to the new version. Yeah, probably. I mean, yes, absolutely. Sticky proc fairings interstages. Had a similar problem testing your Ares multibody. Scoot the panels in further, maybe. Okay, yeah, we're building time to apogee. We need to... I should have done this one a solid minute ago. Perhaps. Perhaps. Swap the fairings for detachable ones. Oh, they're structural fairings? Alright, coming up on orbit. Soon to soon-ish. I should have been angling down a whole lot more. There's our delightful camera change. And shutting down. 202 by 157 with 7,660, 70 something left in the tank. Not bad. That's 4 grand to Mars. It leaves us with 3,600 to either correct or capture. That's not bad, really. And lots of fuel left over. Let's kill RCS so it doesn't kill everything. Now we just need to figure out what happened to my solar panel arrays. Revert to the VAB. And back now into the VAB. It seems I finally noticed that the solar panel trusses were missing, so I tried to load up an older version of the craft where I didn't really realize my mistake initially. I actually reloaded from a save file at least 3 or 4 times before just deciding, whatever, we'll just go ahead and rebuild it anyway, which I know is what I spent the last couple of minutes in the VAB doing, but this way I felt maybe I could just get it right and it would actually be somewhat beneficial for us. So we've got our new experimental lander engines placed in. We're going to reassign the fuel tanks to carry the correct mixture of the correct fuels. We will have a dedicated tank just for RCS. Hopefully we can stay within that mixture. We probably don't need the secondary tank. It was there for the purposes of the 2 different fuel types used by the 2 different engines on the original prototype of this lander. But it does kind of, I don't know, look better this way. But I'll probably be making one more pass on this thing, just trying to decide on a final launch configuration, and at which time I will make any smaller cosmetic changes as necessary. So we do need to adjust our ladders. These will have to be tested, so we'll do at least one more ground landing test. I might do it off camera depending on how sick of seeing this thing not explode everyone is getting, but I do want to make sure with the increased ground clearance that our rovers will still be able to hit the ground, our crew will still be able to climb back up onto the base after landing. Of course, we do also have the option of having an engineer remove the engines once we are on the ground and just letting it sit on its belly. That should get us the clearance we need. So anyway, it is time to rebuild the solar panels, which basically we have this in a generally fueled configuration at the moment. It means we are at our maximum tonnage, and we're going to bring up RCS build aid to tell us our total distributable torque through the engines when they're running. We want to get that number basically as low as possible, and we do also need 4 of these big old honking solar panels to generate enough power to run this installation. We do also need comms equipment, was the other thing that was on these support towers. So we'll get to that just as soon as we have our solar panel situation figured out. So we'll make one tower as complete as we can, both with comms, and then copy it over, rotate it around, and less than a 1 kilonewton of torque, which is more than enough for the gimbals and the RCS to handle. The fuel is actually evenly distributed, so it should not change as we go through descent. Life support is basically the only ballast issue. So now we're going to go ahead and strip absolutely everything out of this and watch that torque figure just climb and climb and climb. Yeah, I used life support to balance everything out except for the 2 large tanks that are just offset from the center, kind of tucked in to the side of the laboratory module there. Those are going to be the ones that the crew used in transition or in flight on their way to Mars, and then everything else on the surface. But now we've got all of it. We do, however, need a mount to attach this to a fairing so that it's not clipping through these engine bells, of which we do absolutely need more than one if we're going to have enough runtime to slow ourselves down. These engines are limited to about 8 minutes of runtime, and even then I'd like to put them through a few more test runs before this thing goes up just to get some research points on them. So for the time being, until I decide that maybe just a 3rd engine will go there, and then something here messed up pretty bad. I think I accidentally clicked on the hangar extender thing a few times too many. KSP got mad. So we exited the VAB and then reloaded the craft, and sure enough, everything had returned to normal. Thankfully, we didn't have to reboot the whole game. That would have made me quite sad. And now it's time to attach this to the finalized version of its launch vehicle and make sure our decoupler is in proper working order. We're probably going to need a few thrusters, sorry, for extra torque for maneuvering here. It's probably going to need some struts just to prevent the wiggling and somewhat. Now, I do want to stress I did not design this launch vehicle. This was made by a human person, and all of the rather original stylistic choices are entirely on him, including our Hasselhoff upper stage here, which started as a joke and has cascaded, and this is how far we've come. My space program is broke enough to where we will launch literally anything. Alright, in a couple minutes adjusting staging, and then we'll get this outside and make sure it flies as promised before adding it to our build list. So anyway, I'm going to turn you over to old me. We had a dream a while back about a mountaintop launch site with hypergolic tanks off to one side that got damaged. Maybe it was an old documentary. I'm so excited to fly the Hassel rocket. Throttle set to full, SAS is on. Are these clamps pumping pump stuff? Because I want to see if we accidentally refuel the upper stage. I should probably disable crossfeed and things. Okay, good, nothing there. How about, oh, yep, it's fueling. Alright, we're gonna have to do that. Ignition. Spooling. Good light, clamps off. Oh, not quite. Come on, go up. Up. Go up, please. Go up, please. Whew. Thank God. Sorry about the volume. Started your new career RP-0 playthrough and got to Mercury. Oh wow, like orbit or flyby? Because I have yet to even do an orbit. I once had a dream that Titan II was being launched from your school. From like under the school, like a hidden silo. Flyby, Jesus Cosmo. Hey, just checking. Some people do really awesome things with gravity assists that I can't quite wrap my head around. I just assume that absolutely everyone is better at this game than me, and they watch me only to make fun of me. So yes, I have full faith that you could have done a Mercury orbiter in like 1957. Has there ever been a launch where the pad fuel valves didn't seal shut after the umbilicals released fuel caused mission failure? Oh god. No, a launch pad in the middle of a football soccer field. Ah. Not to my knowledge, Wookie, but my knowledge is very limited. Really isn't the best place to hide a Titan II launcher in the middle of a football field. No one will look there. Alright, looks like we've started our gravity turn already, just based on our absolutely horrible hassle liftoff. I'm sorry, Wook, I just saw that and that's brilliant. So how much frames per second? Good question. According to OBS, 59. I don't think that's actually the case. I know the Apollo, the shuttle ones had like capture shutters that would whip it back in a split second and then slam a shield over it. So Titan II in Europe. The Hassel has cleared the tower, starting pitch program. The Hoff will go to space today. I'm sorry, I'm still giggling over this ridiculous texture, even person. Ooh, we still gotta... Did we develop a new case of the wiggles, or is that just overcompensating in aerodynamics? Let's see, we're a bit shy of max Q still, but that snap back to the exact center of the prograde vector is a little alarming. It should let me slide a bit further out than that. Yeah, that's where I drew the line. Like, you can't... I'm not gonna fly ridiculous enemy girls. Cosmo, important question. Using your game data from the Discord, how can I get parts in the R&D? You research them, they are missing. Interesting. You should probably ask through Discord, and I might need to see screenshots, and that's exactly what you mean by missing. This rocket should launch from Lauderdale instead of the Cape, or maybe from Malibu. So I'm not extraordinarily familiar with the jet engine, so I'll probably have to... I can check the tech tree here when we're done with the simulation. Universal storage things. I don't think I have the universal storage stuff on this one. Do I? Not 100%. Okay, am I pitching over too aggressively now? I feel like I got the last one almost dead to rights, but this one not so much. Maybe? Kilometers, use about 45% pitch. Okay, so we're coming in alright, I guess, by that metric. Yeah, our TWR is not bad, 2.58 in climbing currently. Should probably keep it in the prograde vector if at all possible. And how did Valentina get aboard, I wonder? Part of this test was to make sure we had control without a Kerbal. Or I guess that got spoiled real fast. Bail her out. So yeah, she'll probably have to get out when we get to orbit, just so we can make sure we can still... It's just a simulation. She's just gonna stick in the fairing. BVA. Well, her food and water have depleted. I don't know how that... Oh, there's no life support supplies for her to take from the crew cabins. She'll fall out when fairing releases. Oh god. No, she's gonna be still hanging on to the ladder. At least her oxygen didn't run out. Alright, yeah, we need to be way more pitched over than this. I am not paying nearly enough attention. At 66 kilometers, we should be down closer to 20 degrees. So, inefficient launch profile. Of course. You'll just have to wait and see, won't you, Wook? Why do we have... Oh no, those are the booster engines. That's the core stage. That's what's going on here. Okay. I hope our crossfeed is working. Otherwise this is going to get real off. Yeah, it has to be. We still got 4 kilometers per second in this stage. And we're going way slower than we should be. Alright, coming up on booster SEP. 10 seconds of game. About 20 seconds for us. Give or take. Alright. 2 seconds. 1 second. Could do this. Yeah, crossfeed's working great. 0 seconds. Flame out. Booster SEP. Oh, please. Yes. Boosters are clearing away. Bearing SEP. Bearings are clearing away. Try not to cry. Cry a lot. You should just fire full throttle and not care about crew comfort. Yes. Wonder if she'll flop about it, Miko. Wonder if she could walk normally in this thrust gravity. 1.16, so yeah, probably wouldn't even feel all that bad. Honestly, I can't do this to her. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't think she can really go anywhere. Get to the ladder, Val! Get to the ladder! You can do it, Val, come on! Inching closer. This is so dumb. Boris could see this. Boris should be scared and be like, this is, we were just testing new procedures, Boris. Come on, Val. You can do it. Or should attempt to throw her line, because Boris puncture her fuel tank on top of it. It would explode and kill everyone. Come on, Val. You can do it. You're so close. I swear we're making progress. But what about the rocket? What about the rocket? That's a interesting view. 2 minutes to Miko. Yeah, we're right on course, really. Who cares? See her get incinerated in the rocket exhaust. You are terrible. It's just I know it's just a simulation. I feel awful. Alright, well, I don't think she can even grab the ladder. Yeah, and she's almost out of EVA props, so we'll just have to come back to her later. I'm so sorry, simulated Val. Really, I am. I mean, this just doesn't look terrible and sad to you? This doesn't just pull at your heartstrings? Maybe camera change will work, because now in free mode, down is towards Earth, so she is sideways. You say try now? Okay, I need to go to bed, wife is waiting. Alright, Lyric. Thanks for coming by. Smash cut to Val on the simulator equipment. I can almost reach while Gene Kerman face palms. Come on, you're almost there. Nope. Nothing doing. Alright, let's just see how well we get to orbit. Rescue her, please. See you tomorrow on Discord, guys. Have a good evening. Thanks for coming by. Much appreciated. Let's just ride straight into it. Not the best, but our apoapsis is already getting a little high, so I think this is obviously not going to be the best run that we've done ever. And hopefully the transfer from main engine cutoff to HG3 ignition won't smash Val hard enough to kill her. And she can just stay hanging on until we get all the way to orbit, where she can just grab onto a ladder so we can make sure this thing will operate autonomously. Oh man, we're gonna be real shy. How did we do worse than last time? We're still 20 tons lighter. Simulated mission control. It's just a hypothetical scenario for fun. No way that this could happen in a real launch, right? It still says local control even now. I should probably verify that we don't have other crew, like Bill, screwing stuff up. Ooh, look at that lab bounce. Stage set, HG3 ignition. Good light on all HG3s. Both crews still lounging. hatch empty. Excellent. Crew hatch empty. Excellent. Come on, give me that crew hatch. Did that tell me occupancy? No, efficiency. For whatever reason. Is it only the two? I think so. I hope so. But man, we're still like at almost a kilometer per second short, which doesn't put this any better than our last test flight. We're still so much lighter, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Extend, extend, extend. Activate. 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 Alright, just do a quick rundown test here. We are charging. Activate CO2 scrubber. No room, so it's actually not on. Won't give you a hatch. Click transfer crew. Good call. No crew on part. Excellent. Now we know. Okay, and let's go ahead and lean in. RCS to arm. How's our crew? Good. We're just hunkered over and crying. The music and the drama and the camera angles involved. A lot of very close, tight-in shots of their face. Grunting, terrible struggled expressions. Super dramatic music. Mastachow? Mastachow? Thank you. Much appreciated. I hope I pronounced that right. Nose down a bit. Yep, I stopped paying attention. And oh yeah, the weight imbalance on the base is having an actual pronounced effect on our telemetry. That is super interesting. Might have to just see how heavy we can actually make it, and still, well, I guess it depends a lot on if I fly to orbit in a manner that works better. Trajectory. Yeah, wow, come on. Get the periapsis above 140. There we go. Shutting down. 333 by 160, not the best. 8100 left in the tank. I know we can do better. Alright, and we'll just do a quick test of our autonomous capabilities, make sure we can operate without a crew on board. Decouple. Yep, thrusters responding. Crew is flailing. Engine staged in. Ignition. Long spool. Lit and spin. Yeah, but it works. That's what matters, and there's no crew actually inside. Just sliding dangerously towards the edge. Excellent. They will in fact be fine. This is just a simulation that has obviously gone horribly, horribly awry. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So, until then, see you later.